Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank, our country, your bank, and Smart, bringing people together.
Welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I'm April Martinez.
And I'm Isani Keretano. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Good morning, Isani.
Good morning, my dear friend.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Already, and almost the end of July.
We just had 28th, man. We have 11 more days.
We have 11 more days, but those days are going to go by very quickly. I think that a lot of the seasons are over.
The seasons.
A lot of the seasons are over for summer in the sense of
what are the
sporting
seasons?
events, other festivities. I think you also have a bunch of festivals and so forth. We're coming down to the wire of summer.
Actually, I think we're in the mix of it all.
You think so?
Yeah, like we're not, you know.
I feel like university begins in August and then everything else kind of just follows.
What begins in August?
University. Like university classes and so forth begin in August.
Why are you way there though?
Listen, my brain accelerate in a like.
No, but we're not
20s.
equating school at summer. So how do you get to universities opening? Look, you will just come off a lab stuff fest, right? You have the September celebrations coming up, right?
Yeah.
So how do you get to school?
Listen, my brain accelerating at the thousands at this point.
I think your brain
like,
my
time
you talk about festivities in the
just,
summer, nobody now I have about school and university.
My time
well,
is
except
already,
for those of us who don't have to go back to school or university.
Maybe that. But because I have I think I work with the school calendar. I work at all of these calendars, so I'm already like, shucks. I have to start to think about those events as well. But wherever you are, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's Monday. It's July 20th.
Yes,
Sani says there's 11 more days left until the end of July.
But don't mean say so, that's on the calendar.
But wherever you are, thank you so much for starting your morning right here with us on Open Your Eyes. Sani, we have a jam-packed Monday with a lot of conversations. So let's get into the show lineup for today. Our first conversation is with the Statistical Institute of Belize. We're going to be talking about the Belize labor market on key employment and education insights. Our second conversation will be with representatives from the Ministry of Agriculture as they discuss vegetable production, planting calendar, and contraband concerns. In our third conversation, Belize moves to an inspiring, healthier, more active nation. And that conversation is going to be held with Hekabab at the Ministry of Health and Wellness. In our fourth conversation, it's going to be with FULTEC as we discuss smarter solutions with Trimble. And to wrap up our Monday morning show, we'll be joined by Naturally Belize Cosmetics, talking about local ingredients and lasting beauty. And like I said, it's a lot of conversation, so you want to be locked in right here on Open Your Eyes. Isani?
All right, thanks, April. Guys, here are the 5 things you need to know before you leave your homes this morning or before you make breakfast. I don't know.
It's
right?
all right, yeah.
Here we go. Cabinet Secretary Stuart Leslie is tied to the ongoing Mira Millions scandal. Dozens are missing in Guyana after a passenger ferry sinks off its coast. World Cup finals, well, you know what it is. Spain defeated Argentina yesterday. And of course, over the weekend as well, the Belize City Defenders emerged victorious in the NEBL 2026 championships, right? And last but certainly not least, KTV, the Remix Season 8 continues tomorrow night at the Bliss.
Yes.
All right, so I could do this thing the easy way,
Tell
right?
me.
We'll combine all the sporting
Events
activities
together,
over
yes.
the weekend and go with that first, right?
Okay.
So on Friday night, the team led by John Marston, Big John as many of us know him, headed out to Orange Walk, right? Where they met the team led by Troy Gabb Jr., right? The Orange Walk Running Rebels. And if you've been following the NEBL over the past few months, you know that that heated rivalry between these two teams continued, right? And, you know, they were sort of neck for neck going into the game on Friday, and it was do or die for either of the two teams.
Yes.
And at the end of the fourth quarter, you know, the defenders, that's it, man, right? So if I have to look at it regionally, then obviously...
You're happy with the win.
I'm content.
Yes.
Right? So the Belize City defenders are able to, you know, seal that victory on Friday night. And the team won the first $100,000 pot, so to speak, right? Where basketball in this country is concerned.
Yeah.
Now, while I say kudos to the champions for this season, I don't know how I feel about the overall turnout and the participation of Belizean spectators, because I've followed basketball at the semi-pro level in previous seasons where the Civic was packed to capacity, and other venues where they were having these games also drew out significant numbers. But from this season, from what I saw, me kind of pelling, can I just be honest?
No,
right?
I'll be honest.
For the amount of money that was being put up and what I believe they wanted to do in terms of bringing out all of these fans of the sport to, you know, fill the auditoriums or the venues where these games are being held, I think they may fall short of that.
I think it has to do, and this is just based on observation, because
Sure.
I'll be very honest, the games are held here.
The games are,
you know,
around
relatively
the country.
around the country,
Yes.
but for the games that, for this magnitude, most of them were held here in Belize City, mostly because of the Civic Center, right? And that's understandable. So from a spectator's perspective and observing the factions of basketball this year, I think has a lot to do with low spectator turnout. Because just over the beginning of this year, you had a different basketball game.
Yeah.
And then now you have the NEBL, right? So I think for us as fans, we kind of have to try to figure out, like, we just had a basketball season, didn't we? And now we have another basketball
I wouldn't
season.
look at it. I wouldn't look at it, and I respect what you're saying fully, but I wouldn't look at it from that point of view, right?
What do you think is going on then?
So you have two different leagues, yes, right? But I'm going with the idea that this one, the NEBL, was sponsored by the government through the Ministry of Sports.
I see.
Right? And they were the ones who put up the most expensive pot of them all.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, based on the prize and based on the investment that went into it, that the return would have been based on the number of people who came out on every night that they had these games, more so in the finals, right?
Yeah.
Albeit, I'm not saying that they didn't draw certain numbers, but I'm thinking, or I'm saying that I've seen previous basketball finals here in Belize where
Packed to capacity
crowd did it,
Yeah.
right? But anyway, so I move on past that again.
Just
once
want to say
again.
congratulations to the defenders,
Congratulations to the
indeed.
defenders,
Yes.
and congratulations as well to the Orange Walk Running Rebels. You know, it's never
it was
over.
a good match. It was a really, really good match.
Speaking of good matches, right? We're not going to yesterday just yet. We're going to Saturday. I don't know if you watched
I didn't
France
watch
and
it
England on
fully.
Saturday.
I didn't watch it fully.
To
I was
me,
attending another
that
event.
should have been yesterday's game.
That's what. So
that was wild.
10
like,
goals in a one game. Yes.
And France rallied from a 4-0 lead at
That
the
was a
half.
comeback.
Right? They were being trounced, if you ask me.
And like 2
4-0
minutes in, one goal.
at the
Come
half,
on.
and then, you know, Mbappe. All I was saying throughout the entire second half, man, we just need 10 more minutes. I would at least equalize, but that's not how the game plays, right?
No.
You only have what you work with, you only work with what you have. And but it was, I think they left everything on the field that day.
It was a great
Right?
match. I think that, like I said, in the first, 2 minutes, England scored its goal, and then it just kept coming. By the time you are at halftime, they already had 4 goals. Then France just came in.
Kudos to Bukayo Saka of the English team. Jude Bellingham came in at the end and nailed, the coffin
final
seal. Respect to that.
But I'll say Mbappe has now had the most
Golden
goals.
boots.
Right now he has his golden boots with 22 goals, I believe,
that man
this
off.
season.
We have to
Yes,
give him
you
that.
have
So
to
as
give
much
him his
as
flowers.
the French team did not advance to the finals, and as you know, as much as I hate the fact that they lost on Saturday, the man still has his accolades to boot. No pun intended, right?
Indeed.
All right, so now we move to yesterday's game, right?
Yes.
And so before we get into the actual play on the field, we talk about fandom, right? And all of these watch parties that were taking place. And I have to shout out my brother Paul yesterday. So while I was out enjoying and imbibing, my brother Paul was with the microphone.
Yes,
him
he
and
was
George doing their thing, right?
everywhere, yes.
Yes, and I kind of feel sorry for him, but the job is the job. No.
While Isani sips his beer and watches his game.
Well,
Paul, are you watching? I hope you are.
No, but I'm saying, look, I think everywhere we crowded yesterday. So much so that, you know, en route to my venue of choice, Belize City felt eerily quiet.
Really?
I left out like about 20 to 1, thereabout, right? And normally, Sunday, much like Saturday or any other day of the week, Belize is alive, right? People move around and stuff. I kind of felt the Good Friday vibes. That's because most people, I believe, were already where they needed to be and seated in front of their TV sets or whatever they were doing in anticipation of yesterday's game, right? So, I'm a tavern man, right? So I went to my favorite watering hole, and as usual, it was
packed
to capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And that energy in there.
I could imagine.
You know, the amount of Argentina jerseys where I say, fake or real, and the amount of...
why you have to call out people like
No, I'm
that?
just saying, look, I'm just saying, right? And the amount of Spain jerseys that I saw yesterday, in all different colors and iterations of Yamal and all of those other Spanish players. Yeah, people were out there.
People were
right?
out there.
But for me, again, just my point of view, my 2 cents, right? Unsolicited, but I'm entitled to it, right? It was a bit anticlimactic when I compared yesterday's game to Saturday's game.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying,
yes.
right? I was more on the edge of my seat on Saturday than I was yesterday. But yesterday's game was well fought.
Yes.
So I have to give kudos to the Argentine goalkeeper, Contraband, the robbery bad.
Yes. He made it block and stop.
The amount of contortions he body had to do to stop the ball. I figured the way how Spain was attacking, at some point they would have got one in.
Yes.
And when they did, you have to respect it, right?
It was an incredible match. So yesterday I was traveling with my family, but we managed to find a TV. Listen, we managed to find a TV.
Man,
right? And we were in Hopkins. And just like kind of what you just said, where it's supposed to be like hustling and bustling in a tourist area, everybody found a television, right? Yes. So where we were at, there was a television as well, and all the tourists, all the locals, everybody to watch this match. It was amazing. You could definitely tell who the Argentinian fans were versus the Spanish fans. But I think in the end, just kind of like watching this season of World Cup play out, Isani, I don't know how many times you went out, right?
No
to
fans,
watch, right?
I think
to watch the game, right? But I think a lot of establishments, and I can only speak of Milpan, I can't really speak about Belize City, but a lot of establishments definitely benefited from having a television during these World Cup matches.
Before we talk about the economic impact of it, the reason I was also saying that for me it felt anticlimactic is because I expected Messi to score. I also expected Lamine Yamal to score, right?
Very true.
So there would have been the symbolic passing of the torch, right? From Messi outgoing to Lamine Yamal, being the next face of football globally, right? But that never really happened that way.
No, it did not.
The goal was scored by someone else, right? And of course, a victory is a victory.
Yes.
But that symbolic handing over never really happened. And that's why I'm saying that for me, it kind of felt, like a bit underwhelming.
I think that I was looking at the game kind of like in the sense of what everybody else was feeling. And I go on social media a lot to see what's going on there. In the end, I think Lamine was just overwhelmed with the fact that this is his first World Cup.
Yeah.
He played throughout most of the games this season, and his team won. It's a very emotional moment
plus,
for him.
We hype up this photo that was dug up from way back when.
Where Messi was holding him as a
the
child,
bathtub thing,
right?
boom, 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 the baby Jesus finish,
Yes.
I call it, right?
But
So all of that hype, and like I said, I was sort of, anticipating this ceremonial thing.
I think that for fans that are not fans of Argentina, they had a lot to celebrate. I think a lot of people were not so much, and I go based on the haterade that I see online, right? And
it
wasn't so much about Argentina, Spain winning, more so than Argentina losing. And the effects of it on social media were so surreal. You had so many people that were happy that Spain. When I went into the into our group chat, I said justice has been served, and it's like not talk about this colonial thing, but it wasn't about that, right? It was really about, in my mind, like Spain beat out my teams, and so I'm not Spain, sorry, Argentina beat out my teams, and so I was very happy in my end that Spain got justice for my teams.
And respect to that, right? And respect to that. And I'll end this part of the conversation before we move on by simply saying this, right? Sport's supposed to bring people together.
It does.
It's one of the few activities where differences are fundamental ones that should be set aside, right? And that's the reason why I personally keep imploring that when I look at sports, any discipline, any game or match being held, I don't look at politics, I don't look at race relations, I don't look at any of those things. Right? I try to be as pure in my intent as possible, and that's loving the game for what it is, right?
As you should.
We go quarrel about how they treat black people, how they treat Spanish people, how all the day after the game. But while we watch the game, make we keep it just gameplay.
And just speaking of politics, and I think this is where a lot of people ended up turning off the TV after everything was done, when you see the U.S. president coming to give the trophy and so forth, and there were a lot of people that had their comments, but
that had to happen in the man's country.
And I do believe that the Mexican president and the Canadian president were present again because it was a multinational event, right?
Yes.
So there are all of these different controversies that happen with any sort of sport. It doesn't matter if it's the World Cup, but at the end, like we talked about, so many businesses benefited from this. There were so many establishments that they were literally running out of servers to serve because just so many people kept coming in. It was incredible. And so
I think one of the few times I really do enjoy preferential treatment.
I learned my lesson the first time, and I start call in advance. I'm like, I'm calling for my table for this time because I know how it go. But it was a good World Cup season.
Yes.
I've seen.
It's been a good sports season.
It's been a good sports season. We were talking about that.
And so what is next? We'll leave that question here because we have to move on.
But before we move on, right, I have some commentary here from some of our viewers, right? So Paul Lopez is watching. Hi, Paul. Paul is saying, Orange Walk was filled beyond capacity on Friday night for the NEBL. So, while it wasn't showing here in Belize today, Orange Walk had a crowd.
Nice.
Ras Welch said, nobody is more happier than me that Argentina did not win the World Cup.
And respect to Ras Welch as well, right?
I saw this this reel going around of somebody was so angry that Argentina lost that they threw out their television.
Hey, that happens every World Cup cycle.
So
every 4 years, people change out their furniture, including their TVs and stuff.
But yes, now we can move on.
Yes. All right, so on to more serious things though, right? So we've been covering what we here at GBM have dubbed the Mira Millions for several weeks on end. And it seems at this point that it's unending really, all right? So on Thursday and Friday, we've been reporting about the RSL Group, which is a company formed in Orange Walk that is also supplying the Ministry of Defense. This is the Belize Defense Force. Now, this one is with spices, right? Like condiments and stuff like that, right? And this one is tied to Cabinet Secretary Stuart Leslie.
He's a director.
He's a director of that company. Now, I'll say this, and I'll say this unequivocally, right? The PUP are a serious crowd. And the reason I'm saying that is because Belize has 6 districts.
Yes.
9 municipalities, right? And when we look, again, perhaps from an aggregate point of view here, where all of these businesses contracting with the Ministry of Defense are concerned, man, a majority of them are from up north.
Yes.
Most of them are from Orinjoak town.
Yes.
So not only Orinjoak people could provide vegetables and spices to the Ministry of Defense, nobody from Toledo, nobody from Kaya, nobody from Stan Creek, nobody from Belize City.
Yeah.
Man, all if PUP for eat, if that's the case, or only connected people supposed to do business with the government in this capacity.
Yes.
And my other question is, wow, that's so much thing the BDF man didn't eat.
Well,
think about it that way. That's so much thing that BDF man didn't eat too. All I'm saying is it looks bad.
It does.
That's the point that I'm making.
It does.
Right? I don't carry a flag for any of the political organizations. I really don't care, but you're supposed to call out certain things for what it is, at least on the surface of it. I mean, it looks bad.
It does, and I think that it doesn't matter if, like, the constant excuse of I'm not involved in the day-to-day, or I'm not involved in this, or I'm not involved in that. At the end of your month or your year, you get the entire paperwork of the supplies that you've done. Like, you have to know where your supplies to go, right?
Yes. Dare I say, in all of these leaks, right, have we encountered a service provider, a contractor, who is not aligned to any political party or affiliated, if that were the case, that has been paid out sub $10,000 over a period of time? That becomes questionable.
Yeah.
I dare whoever is leaking, find somebody who completely unattached, who's doing business with the government of Belize in the Ministry of Defense, who are a regular Joe like me, will get paid so much sub $10,000 in a one day.
Because it can't just be this, right? It can't just be everybody that only know.
Just give me a second, right? I'm saying that because our people are connected to this one, that one in a government, in a cabinet. They're not a regular person. I'm almost certain the regular person has a difficult time getting one of them contracts.
Agreed.
That's one. Secondly, if they do get one of them contracts, everything is dealt with stiff.
Yeah.
Above board, so on and so forth. The way it ought to be, right? But now when you have the ones there with the nepotism and the cronyism, everybody get the easy pass, right? You want to get paid today?
Preferential treatment.
Give me the in a 10 sub $10,000 invoices, and then I get paid today.
And then you can't. I just, like I said, it can't just be that these are the only people that are benefiting, right?
And I think, April, honestly, this is just the tip of the proverbial iceberg, because we're the focus for our Ministry of Defense. Yes. Gosh, they got so much other ministries.
And again, it's because
I don't know what's happening there.
And again, it's because we are getting the screenshots that are sent to us, right? These are persons that are going anonymously to send these streamline screenshots. If other persons start to come out from other ministries, that's the only way we're going to get this information, right? Because it's not like we're seeing any sort of transparency report come out. And even so, even if all of this happens, and even if we may get this sort of transparency report to the public, we are not, as citizens, going to go under a huge investigation to see who owns RSL Group or who owns Kukulkan. You understand me? Like, it's just going to be a name and a service. So at the end of the day, so many people can be getting away with so many things.
Forgive the cynic in me, right? And then I'll move on. When I hear things like believe in Belize, I laugh. When I hear things like better is yet to come, I scratch my head, right? What was the famous UDP one? they had another one. I can't remember it off the top of my head. But when I hear Todos Ganamos, and then I hear Plan Belize, and the cynic in me says this is the merry-go-round all over again. Yeah. That's just how I think. I've been on the sidelines watching intently for too long that I know how the game is played, right? And so when you see the opposition trying to create a groundswell, some people legitimately argue that you only make noise because you're ready to feed off at the top, say away too.
Yep.
Right? And that's what informs the critic in me, because the cynic in me, because it's true.
Yes.
I don't know that we've ever taken a stance where we're saying, look, if we're serious about this anti-corruption movement, we could do it now a bipartisan way and figure it all out.
I think the cynic in me also says even if we implement the UNCAC, it's still going to be the same thing.
Yes.
I find that as Belizeans, we're still very complacent in these sort of matters. While we here are doing this sort of investigation, and like big up Paul for all of this investigative research, what happens next? Because it's not like we have any laws to hold anybody accountable.
Tighten it a little bit, right?
Yes.
So yes, kudos has to go to my brother Paul Lopez.
Yeah.
But this is an all of newsroom thing, right?
I support Paul to go
when we
deep.
get information, all of we work together to process it. And here is the thing, right? If we're talking about unity and we're talking about synchronicity, right? We have teams who sit down and mull over those numbers and process it. We have a graphic team that's able to illustrate it so that the viewers could get it in bite-sized chunks, right?
Well.
And could understand it visually and so on. But it's a lot of work, right? We have a cameraman and an editor who also has to, you know, roll up his sleeves and get to cutting, right?
Yeah.
But the long and short of it for me is it's all in a bid to inform the Belizean people so that the next time you think about vote, you have to consider some of these very real issues that we're putting before you.
But that brings it back to my original point, Isani.
Yes.
The amount of investigative research that gets done to bring the bites to the public, even if we get this sort of information, like I said, in a report that is issued by the government, doesn't matter which administration, I don't know how many of us are going to go in-depth research and say, who owned this? And how did they get this? And why they're the only ones? Or why is it only coming from this particular district or this area and so forth? It's us as the media that has to bring forth that sort of information.
Let me throw this question at you. What do you think about this forensic audit that stretches back to 2015, given the 90-day window within which the audit department should get this thing done?
I think that they're going to need more time, Isani, because the amount of work, just as you mentioned, to talk about this one particular group, and it's not even to say that I imagine that there's so many phones that hang up once they say, hi, we're calling from Greater Belize Media to get this quote on this. I could imagine the amount of non-responses that we get, right? So to do deep investigative research as the procurement group or the auditing group, it'll take more than 90 days. If they're serious to dive into every single detail, it will take more than 90 days. But they have, I would imagine, or they should at least take out summaries of this is where we are, this is what we've been doing, this is what we've been interviewing, this is what we've been auditing, just to keep the Belizean people updated, because out of sight, out of mind, right? The minute we stop report and something else, that's it.
In a normal course, there have been complaints by the Auditor General's office that in the process of doing its work, the office has been met with stiff non-cooperation, non-compliance with the provision of documents so that they could actually do the numbers based on the government departments being audited.
Yeah.
So if in a normal times, right? In ordinary times, this is the challenge. What makes us believe that in this particular time of scandal, that these functionaries and these other people working within this particular government department would be forthcoming with the information? That's the one. Two, if you're going back all the way to 2015, what is your intent? To say that, oh, them they do it, a different administration was in power then, them they do it back then too, so they're not just we.
Yeah.
Is that the intent? Now, do you believe that 3 months, 90 days is sufficient time for a government department that for all intents and purposes is under-resourced, right? Some would argue underqualified, to be able to carry out this significant task?
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
Well, I would like to hear from our viewers. Let us know what you think. I really appreciate the questions that you throw at Isani, because I don't think we think about it enough. I think that, like you said, right now we're just kind of in this swirl of all of this information that is coming out. But what are we going to do with it? right? I like some of the commentary that our viewers are giving us. Bart Sanchez says, why is there one commonality with all these accused persons? They never know. But as reporters dig deep, then they gotta explain. Police minister said he didn't know in the initial stage. 2 weeks ago, he was asked if the services provided by his relatives were up to par. He said they were delivered at a high standard. But initially, he didn't know. Defense minister didn't know. If RSL was selling pharmaceuticals to the BDF, were they selling to hospitals too? All of these questions that are coming out, right? So
only one crowd for eat. That's the long and short ever asked me.
And at the end of the day, again, we're getting all of this information out, Isani. What are the consequences?
Yeah.
Right? And so we have to ask all of these questions. But as we wrap up, we do got to say we are bigging up KTV, the remix, as our third episode is coming out tomorrow night. So get your tickets. Make sure you head on down to the Bliss. I believe voting time has already passed.
Shameless plug, April.
Tell me.
If we were thinking about what's next after all of these games and stuff,
KTV, the remix.
Hello.
Exactly. So make sure that you buy your tickets. We're selling them here at the GBM studio or over at 88 Shopping Center. I believe that you're going to have an elimination. Of course, you have to vote for your favorite contest and somebody has to go home. It is a competition after all. But if you're not able to go down to the Bliss, ensure to stay locked in on KTV, the Remix Facebook page, live, and the GB TV YouTube page.
Yes.
So you want to stay locked in. That's 8 p.m. Tuesday night. All right, Asani, we do gotta take a quick break because we have our friends from the Statistical Institute of Belize in our next conversation to discuss key employment and education insights. Stay locked in. We'll be right back.
Football event in the world is finally here, and Smart is giving you the chance to play and win. Before every match starts, predict who will win. The more predictions you make, the more chances you have to win. Get 1 point towards your total when you guess the winning team. Predict the exact score and earn up to 4 points. The top scorer at the conclusion of the World Cup wins the grand prize of $2,500 in cash. That's not all. Players get a chance to win weekly prizes. Plus, our quarter-final winner gets a watch party package. Play directly in the Smart app for just 50 cents per entry. Prediction starts June 1st to July 18, 2026. Don't just watch the World Cup. Play along and win with Smart. Smart, bringing people together.
Here's how to access your contribution history on the My Social Security portal. First, go to your browser and type ssbportal.org.bz. Enter your email and password, then click Log In. Once logged in, you'll see your full portal account on the screen. On the left-hand side, you'll notice a drop-down menu for added features. Click on History. Choose Contributions. Read the disclaimer, then click Continue. You'll now see a full window displaying your contribution history. In the table, each row represents a different year. For example, let's look at the year 2024. Click on the row and a detailed breakdown will appear. This breakdown includes your employer's name, your earnings for each month and week, contribution type, the amounts paid, and that's how you can explore the new contribution feature on the My Social Security portal. It's quick, easy, and keeps your Social Security information right at your fingertips. Create your account today.
We at FULTEC Systems understand that technology isn't just a tool, it's a game changer. At home, smart devices and AI are revolutionizing daily life. In education, tech is making learning more interactive and accessible for students and educators alike. For businesses and government, it's driving innovation, streamlining operations, and unlocking growth, leveraging tech for better services, infrastructure, and security. At FULTEC Systems, we help you thrive with cutting-edge solutions, partnering with leaders like Dell, HP, Microsoft, APC, Fortinet, Cisco, and Tomy 8. We deliver the right products for your needs, whether it's boosting efficiency, improving customer engagement, or scaling operations. Connect with us and let's drive innovation together. FULTEC Systems, your technology center, where you come for the price, but stay for the service.
Let's all be safe during the rainy season. Belize Electricity Limited reminds you that heavy rains can cause flooding in your neighborhood and on roads. Avoid driving or walking in flooded areas, which can have hidden dangers such as debris and fallen power lines. Belize Electricity Limited cares about your safety. Please stay safe.
Every dollar you save today is a seed for tomorrow. Let your dreams take root and grow. Belize Bank, your future, our commitment.
The next station is not just a place, it's the vacation capital of the world. Mexican Caribbean, the vacation capital.
And welcome back. Joining us for our first conversation this morning is Anya Mejia. She's doing so virtually. She is Statistician 1, Census Surveys and Administrative Statistics Department over at the SIB. Good morning, Anya.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
It's our pleasure. We're here this morning to talk a bit about the labor market. Begin by explaining to us what the lay of the land looks like where this is concerned. Labor market in Belize.
Okay, so the labor market, when we collect data on the labor force statistics, we are mainly focused on producing official data to give us a picture of what employment, unemployment, and the labor force participation looks in the country. We mainly provide data on what the labor force is and what persons not in the labor force are. So that's just like a quick intro into the labor force.
What does it mean based on, and I've been a part of some of the statistics, I've spoken to some persons that do come to my home. The questions are very specific though, in terms of what it means to be in the labor market, employed and unemployed. And being unemployed doesn't necessarily mean that you are not in the labor force. It does mean something else. Can you talk a little bit more about those distinctions?
Okay, so there are two main groups, the labor force and then persons not in labor force. Mm-hmm. To be in the labor force, you are within two groups. You're either employed, meaning that you have a job, or you're unemployed, which means that you met three criteria. You were 1, without work, 2, you were actively looking for work for at least 4 weeks, and then 3, you were available to work within the next 2 weeks. And you had to meet those 3 criteria to be considered as unemployed. An example of that would be if an interviewer goes to someone's house and they begin asking the questions, and the person lets them know that they don't have a job, so they're without work. Some follow-up questions will determine if that person is looking for work, meaning are they checking vacancies? Are they asking relatives or friends for jobs that they might know that are available? Are they actually looking for work? And are they available to start work should a job come up? Will they be able to start that job within the next 2 weeks? And so those are two groups within the labor force that I just mentioned. And then the next group, which is not in the labor force, means that you did not meet the criteria to be unemployed. Yes, you don't have a job, but you were not looking or you were not available to work. To be unemployed, you must meet 3 of the criteria, and if you don't meet those 3 criteria, you will fall into the not in the labor force group, or I call it persons not in the labor force.
Anya, from your recent survey, is there anything unique that the public should know that perhaps we're overlooking where certain statistics or figures are concerned? Something that jumps out to you as a statistician then?
Not really. In the April round, the unemployment rate was 1.9%, but that is within range. I would say the only other thing would be we did have more persons who identified as not in the labor force. But other than that, the statistics remains very consistent throughout the years.
Is there a trend that indicates the kinds of jobs being sought by persons either entering the workforce or people who are already working?
Persons usually work within what we call the wholesale and retail trade industry, tourism, agriculture, or what we call community and personal services industry, which is like persons who have their own businesses, like as nail techs or makeup artists, things like that. So I would say, though, the main industry is wholesale and retail trade.
Okay. And where does that fall under the line of like formal employment versus informal or underemployment?
That is usually formal, but it could be informal. In terms of like informal employment, the percentage share of employed persons is relatively consistent with informal employed persons being around like 35%, 33 to 35% of the employed population.
How does that reflect persons that perhaps have to commute from rural to urban spaces, or do you have those sort of statistics that tell you that persons that have to commute on a day-to-day basis are persons that have to perhaps move from one place to another for like maybe the week or so to be able to hold down a particular job?
We do collect that information, but it's not something that I really examine, so I would have to get back on that.
Yeah, I think that the reason, so this conversation, we began it on Friday when we were looking at education, and if you're basically getting your bang for your buck, your investment for your education, and if you are actually making that money when you are employed in Belize. And we had that conversation on Friday. And so when you're interviewing persons within certain households that are perhaps within the education system, whether that be secondary or tertiary education, their expectations of going into, like you said, the labor force, if they're actually making that investment back when they invest in education. Do you have those statistics?
I would say that they are making a worthwhile investment and it is being paid back to them. Similarly, looking at the labor force participation, persons who have tertiary education are usually among those persons who are actively participating in the labor force. So I would say that, having a tertiary level education is very key to being a majority of the labor force.
What about persons perhaps, and this is just going into more of informal employment or informal investments in education, because we note that call centers are now one of the bigger spaces where people are being employed.
It's arguably the biggest.
It is the biggest, right, where people are being employed in. And that can be whether you have a tertiary degree or a secondary diploma, right? But those investments are very different, but some would say that they make perhaps more money than persons that have invested in education.
I would say if we're looking at in terms of income, persons who are formally employed still make more than those who are informally employed. That's one. And then I would also say that, you know, the call centers, they are becoming a larger group within the labor force. But we still have other industries who are contributing to the overall labor force population greater in terms of percentage share. But they are becoming a larger group.
Is there a comparison or perhaps a juxtaposition that can be made between the tourism sector and the business processing outsourcing sector, simply because you find that while Belize has long been seen as this tourist destination where thousands of us are employed in the tourism industry, you're also finding that there's a mass migration of people moving into the BPO sector as well. Is there any comparison that can be made?
So far, we can say that tourism still remains as one of the leading industries when it comes to employment. So year over year, we will see that the tourism is either like the second or third largest industry that persons are employed at. And like I mentioned, while the BPOs are increasing, their share is not as large income as yet to be counted as, like, you know, the top, one of the top four industry as yet.
In terms of the statistics and persons that are within the labor force, we do have, like Isana mentioned, the tourism industry that is quite large. But you also break down statistics based on perhaps public officers, persons that work in the government, persons that work in the private sectors, and then persons that are working for themselves, entrepreneurs, MSMEs, and so forth. Out of all of these different categories and so forth, where are Belizeans finding themselves being employed in the most?
I would say it's still, let me think.
Because I know for a long time, it was a lot of space within the government. But perhaps within COVID and so on, we saw a rise of small business owners and so forth that are coming, you know, to work for themselves, right, due to whatever job loss and so on. And so perhaps I think a lot of people say MSMEs are the ones that are basically employing Belize at the moment, right, that make the economy flow. But statistically, is that what we're seeing?
I would have to get back to you on the numbers. I'm thinking about one specific number, but I don't want to say without verifying, but I would have to get back to you on that.
Okay. Do we also have statistics on gender employment in terms of men and women who are employed?
Yes. And typically, I would say first, males usually participate more within the labor force. But in terms of income, there is some sort of equality.
Okay, wonderful.
That's interesting.
I find it interesting that you all are able to get the statistics in terms of equity, in terms of men and women in the labor force. But we see that, well, I'm looking at some of the statistics here that's on the screen from 2023 to 2026. And it says that men have about over 100,000 men are within the labor force, and you only have about 65,000 women that are employed. This falls under the labor force category, or is it that they're just like looking for work or something to that effect? How do you tell the difference?
In the terms of the labor force participation, yes, we do see that males participate more than females in the labor force. I have to go back to the persons not in the labor force group, because that group is made up mostly of females. And these persons are usually, retired, or they're like going to school, or they're house workers. And so that does affect, when you look at the numbers between male and female for the labor force participation, and seeing that males participate more, is usually because of that reason.
I see. I'm still trying to grapple between the terms of employed labor force and unemployed, because while we have a low unemployment rate, does that really reflect perhaps persons that are trying to look for a job, that are working, that are not working currently? That sort of confuses me a little bit.
I think it confuses a lot of us, right?
I think the most important
go ahead, Anya.
Yes, the most important thing is that you have to meet the 3 criteria. So, for instance, if the interviewer goes to the person's house and they ask if they're working and they say no, if that person says that they're not looking, so they're not making any effort to find a job, then that person is not unemployed. They are not in the labor force. If that person says that they are not available to work, meaning, yes, they want a job, but if a job was presented to them tomorrow or within the next two weeks, they could not take up that job, then that person is not unemployed. That person is not in the labor force. And I think that really confuses people, but you have to meet the 3 criteria. And if you don't meet those 3 criteria, then you are considered as a person not in the labor force. And that's why I mentioned that there are 3 groups that you need to pay attention to. The first 2 being labor force and not in the labor force. And then within the labor force, then we look at what is employed and unemployed. And the 3 affect each other. So if you have more persons within the not in the labor force group, your unemployment rate will be lower, because labor force plus not in the labor force, those 2 groups combine to make up our working age population. And so if one group is larger than the next, then I'm getting statistical now, but the denominator is smaller, so you will eventually get a smaller unemployment rate, because one group is inflating and the other is not. Okay. So you really have to look at the 3 groups in order to understand why the numbers are the way they are.
I see. I think I still have to do a little bit more research there on that one there, Anya. But we do appreciate you dropping by or zooming by to have this discussion with us. Do you all have any plans for any other new interviews that are going out, any sort of statistics that are coming out? Let us know.
Yes. Yesterday, we began the Sustainable Development Monitoring Survey, SDMS for short. This is a national survey that will cover various aspects of everyday life for Belizeans. It will cover topics such as right to access to land, diet, healthy behaviors, unpaid care work services, and much more. And the goal really is to collect data that will assist us in getting data for the Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs for short. And this survey will be running from, like I mentioned, it started yesterday, and it will be running until August 22.
Okay.
Yeah, 22.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Anya. We appreciate you zooming by. And of course, we expect the SIB to be knocking on your door for this new survey anytime soon. Thank you so much, Anya.
Thank you.
All right, we are going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll be having a discussion with the Ministry of Agriculture on vegetable production, planting calendar, and contraband concerns. You don't want to miss that conversation. We'll be right back.
Every business starts with a vision, and Every day, Belizean entrepreneurs are turning that vision into reality.
Hi, I'm Rosalie, General Manager of Cards and Merchant Services at the Belize Bank. Today, I am proud to introduce our new solution designed specifically for Belize's small and medium-sized businesses.
Introducing the Belize Bank Advantage MasterCard SME Business Credit Card. Whether you're managing everyday expenses, purchasing inventory, or investing in growth, this card gives your business the flexibility to move forward with confidence. Applying is easy. Visit any Belize Bank branch and speak with one of our SME officers. We'll help you find a solution that best fits your business. Your business is building Belize's future. Let Belize Bank help power what's next.
Open your eyes, family. We the head west. Yes, San Ignacio, we the come. The Open Your Eyes Country Tour is rolling into the San Ignacio Welcome Center. And trust me, you know why I miss this one. From the rich culture and delicious food to the incredible people and lively vibes, we they bring the best of the West straight to your screen. Monday, July 27, starting at 6:30 a.m. live on Greater Belize Media. Open your eyes to beautiful San Ignacio.
He skipped nights out, said maybe next time too often. Ramen became a lifestyle, all for this moment, his first car. Protect what you've worked for with RF&G Motor Insurance.
Life moves fast. Your connection should keep up. Need more credit? More data? A flex bundle that fits your lifestyle? With Smart Prepaid, they're a prepaid option for every lifestyle and budget, making it easy to stay connected wherever you are. Because with Smart Prepaid, you can connect on your terms. Purchase credit, data, flex bundles, prepaid plans, and all your favorite prepaid services at any Smart agent, Smart showroom, or simply dial *100 key. No stress, no waiting. Just fast, easy, convenient ways to stay connected every day. Smart Prepaid. Connect on your terms.
Ever had your card declined? Now it doesn't have to be. Introducing partial authorization. If the card doesn't cover the full amount, it notifies you what's available. You can accept the partial payment and pay the missing balance with a credit card or cash. No decline. Get what you came for. Partial authorization now available. Belize Bank, our country, your bank.
When the power goes out, life is disrupted. Be prepared and keep your home powered up with a generator from Benquip. We carry brands such as Honda, Kohler, and JCB. Schedule your installation, maintenance, and assessment to keep your generator ready and waiting to protect your family and home the next time the power fails. Stay in control of your power with a generator from Benquip. Equipment, parts, service.
Welcome back to Open Your Eyes, and joining us for our second conversation, we have our friends from the Ministry of Agriculture on the couch with us to discuss vegetable production, planting calendar, and contraband concerns. On the couch, we have Louis Book, and he's the Communications Director at the Ministry of Agriculture. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
And we also have Andrew Mejia, and he's the Director of Extension Service over at the Ministry of Agriculture.
Good morning.
Gentlemen.
Good morning,
Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you very much for the space. It's a pleasure to be here at Channel 5 once again.
Thank you.
And to talk about agriculture and farming, everybody's business, because all we eat.
All we eat. And every Tuesday and every Friday, I have to replenish my vegetable
With Belizean
Those are
vegetables.
market days in Belmopan.
With Belizean vegetables.
With Belizean vegetables.
Oh,
but
you're out of Belmopan?
I'm out of Belmopan.
You get some excellent vegetables.
Well, son ain't sick, but I have a bone for pick.
Valley of
right?
Peace, they're right next door. So you're supposed to get the best of the best.
And I will say that for what we get in Belmopan, and this is just talking about market day, I'm not talking about the day-to-day farmers that do take up space at the market. One, kudos for always ensuring that there is fresh vegetables. But two, we're also seeing a decline in what they're providing. What is happening?
We're reaching the end of the production season for the seasonal vegetables that we have in Belize. It's one of the reasons why we're here. Because at the beginning of the production season and at the end, there's always a bit of a bump, so to speak. At the beginning of the production season, you're ending the importation of vegetables like onion, carrot, and so on that we import whenever we run out or whenever the production for Belizean vegetables of that kind is just starting. So you have a transition period. Similarly, at the end of the production season, you have a transition period from the Belizean to the imported. You have the Belizean still on the market, and then you have the imported trying to come in, because we run statistics at our ministry for consumption. And so we have to meet those consumption figures to make sure householders like yourself, whenever you go by, you have on the market. Of course, there's always the topic of contraband to deal with as well. At all different levels and in all markets, we have contraband issues to deal with. So Mr. Mejia has statistics on all of that. So we want to just reassure the public that at our ministry, we ensure that the Belizean farm, because we have a double mandate. We have to ensure the Belizean farmer has access to the market, but we have to also ensure that the Belizean consumer has the best quality of vegetables. And sometimes it's not an easy street to run, to try to run the middle of. So right now, where we're reaching the end of the production season, and again, it's a matter of season in terms of the climate and so on that we have in Belize. Potatoes, I think, are reaching the end of their production season, onions as well, and I think we have carrots, and I think most of the other vegetables might not necessarily be as sensitive to change of season. But we can produce them year round.
That's an important thing to note, because I always, and I don't think about importation season, right? Because I'm just going to buy vegetables, but I always wonder, like, why sometimes my carrots look a certain way, and then next time my carrots not look a certain way. No, it's good to know, because then you complain about.
Bright orange,
I expect
orange,
it's not even about the color, guys. You know, when you try, it's not like a smooth cut. There are all of these other like roots that are sticking out,
nodules.
Right? All of these modules and so forth. But it's good to note, because when we think about why is it that we don't have certain potatoes on market and we only have to buy these others, it's good for the consumer to know. But let's talk about expectations from farmers in terms of competing with these imported vegetables.
Well, basically, good morning again. The Ministry of Agriculture has a program that we run in terms of production. Mr. Pook rightly mentioned the production, the calendar, right? And that is how we manage the production side of the vegetable supply on the local market. Now, it normally would run from September all the way up until the end of July for majority of the sensitive commodities. And Mr. Pook is right, because right now we're going into the transition, and that is why you're seeing a depletion in terms of the quality that you're finding in the market. Because now we're ending the local production and we're about to enter into the imported. So what we do as a ministry, we ensure that our farmers are able to sell what they produce. So we don't give any license for importation during this time until we're sure the farmers are about or have completed their sales of their produce. So while quality is so important, of course it is, we try our best to ensure that the farmers continue to improve on their quality. Around this time, it's during this transition period that you will start to see the quality start. You like what you mentioned about the carrots, you start to see little nodules and the little growths on the onions and stuff like that, that we try to avoid as much as possible. But it does happen around this transition time.
So here's my question, Andrew. So there's a period during the cycle where no import permits are being issued to companies that are bringing in fruits and vegetables into the country. But contrabanding seems to remain a pervasive issue in and out of season, right? How do you tackle that as the Ministry of Agriculture in terms of whatever resources you have to put on the front lines of contrabanding?
Very good question. We have what we call the Vegetable Interdiction Team. It's a team that comprises of the ministry. We have our supplies control unit along with us. We have BAHA, who is responsible for agricultural health. We have the customs and we have the police. So we meet on a regular basis and we plan how we're going to, what is actually happening on the ground, because our intelligence normally would come from the ground. Farmers competing, okay, you know what, I can sell my carrots, but I see my neighbor has carrots, he's getting from such, you know. So we act on those. But the reality is that contraband has been evasive and it will continue to be evasive. What we try to do as much as possible, put a little dent by doing operations. We do checkpoints, we do raids.
Market raids.
Especially market. We just did a huge one at the Michael Finnegan. What that does is that it gives us a little window that allows the farmers to be able to sell their produce. And this is why right now if you go to the market, you will start to see the potato, for example. The quality is already really, really depleting because, again, the farmers had issues selling the potato. Potato should be winding out this week, but we still have potato for this week and next week because contraband. Right?
So when you effect a raid, right? How are you able to determine what is locally produced from what is brought in from outside the country?
You could tell.
We can tell.
Forgive me if I don't know. I don't really do the marketing like that, right? But just for my benefit and the benefit of our viewers who are none the wiser.
Isani, the reality is that our majority of the produce that we produce here in Belize, with the quality won't be as beautiful, right?
Yeah.
To
presentation.
To put it nicely, as what you would get imported, because we do use less chemicals, we do produce more healthy. So you see a carrot, contrabanded carrots compared to the local, you can tell the difference. And then we have expertise within the ministry and within the other entities that can tell, right? So when customs would do a raid, for example, as a part of the team, they would do a raid on their own. They would send pictures to us immediately, and we would verify if it's local and import.
With potatoes, it's easy though, because there is only one variety of potato that we plant in Belize, the red lasoda. So its presentation is very different from the imported potato. Imported potato is white or yellowish in color, whilst the Belizean planted potato is red. The skin is red. So you can easily tell if it's contraband.
And right now, we should only be having a red.
So
if you see the white on the market, it's contraband. It's simple as that.
Yes. But then what are the consequences for persons that have these contraband goods?
There are charges that both customs and BAHA, under the legislation and regulations, they can charge up to 3 times the value of the product. They do charge, but majority of the time it's just a dent. These days, you catch these guys, so by tomorrow they're already on the road again with new products. So it's
because contrabanding is big business.
It's big business.
It's a mafia.
It's
well established long before.
But do all farmers need to have these imported goods, or can they just continue to function and sell on their own with the products that they grow?
It's not the farmers that's importing. It's a business, like middlemen you would call them, or importers. Because farmers produce. Our job is to produce, right? And once we have the local product on the market, we try our best to ensure that there is no imported. But once you find the imported, it's because it's contrabanded into the country.
Talk about the economic impact of trying to ensure that our farmers sell what we grow here, and what contraband does to them as businesses.
It puts a dent, but I wouldn't say it's major in terms for the farmers, because we try our best to ensure that they can sell. So we do have losses. We would calculate losses for onions, for example, around 15%, and that's because some of it would be from storage, post-harvest care, But in terms of contraband, the Ministry of Agriculture, while we continue to struggle, we still continue to ensure that farmers are able to sell whatever they're producing.
Okay.
They might not be able to sell all because of the issues we're facing, but we do ensure that they are able to sell. And again, food security, we continue to ensure that Isani can get that rice and beans on Sunday.
Yes. Most importantly.
Most importantly,
Wouldn't have
right?
it any other way.
But okay, I want to talk about importation one more time, because right now the United States is going through a lot of issues with their produce, right? That explosive diarrhea situation is coming from, you know, their produce markets and so forth. Where do we import from, and how do we ensure that the quality is safe for us to eat?
First of all, even before we import any product into the agricultural product, there's what we call a pest risk analysis that's done through Baja.
Okay.
So Baja would do that with the exporting country. So they would send their teams out to do that pest risk analysis, get the report, do their lab tests, whatever they need to do, and then they come and say, you know what, guys, it's safe to import from Mexico, for example, right? So, and then our importers, they would import from, but it's tracked. So, like what happened in the United States, if that would happen here, we would be able to tell where it came from.
Okay.
Which farm, what batch, and so on.
Everything, yes.
Traceability is a very big thing in agriculture right now, with all kinds of agricultural products, and we are not really far behind when it comes to our ability to trace those things here in Belize. So we would be able to tell.
Definitely.
Lastly, as we wrap up, for this calendar year in terms of planting and production, you are saying that certain things are going out of season. What's coming in season, and what can farmers expect to sell, and what can consumers buy?
Right now, everything is going out of season.
Okay.
All the sensitive commodities that we have are going out. Currently, we only have the potatoes, the carrots, and the onions. Okay. Potatoes coming to an end. Basically, by next week, we should be out.
Belizean potato.
With Belizean potato. Okay. Then we'll start the import. And then carrots and onions within a month. So when the season starts over, all the way around in October, where we start to have carrots again. Because we already have some farmers planting carrots. So you'll have this short window where you will have the imported carrots on the market until our local comes back. Yes.
Wonderful. And we should be having avocados that are from Belize and not the little tiny ones that we're seeing.
Definitely, definitely.
That's how you know that contraband, right?
Right.
There you go. Gentlemen.
Smart, yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And if you have any other insights or questions and so forth, we can head on over to the Ministry of Agriculture's website and Facebook pages for more details. Yes?
Definitely. Yes, definitely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're jumping from one health aspect of the ministry to another with the Ministry of Health and Wellness as they talk about inspiring a healthier, more active nation.
My name is Ernest Miralda, and I'm 43 years old. I have lived in Monkey River Village most of my life. This is the place I grew up and where my family lives. When I was young, we had a big beach in front of the village. We had to walk quite a distance to reach the sea. There were 2 more rows of houses and then the beach. It was a free childhood in a beautiful community. I was about 12 or 13 when I realized the sea was taking the land. The sea just keeps eating the land. We had a big football field in front of the cemetery, and all of that is now gone. When we saw it getting closer to the school, that's when we realized how serious it was. In 2017, the cemetery where my grandmother was buried began to be taken by the sea. her tomb slowly slipped into the water. The village was very concerned. People came together and started filling sandbags. It helped for a little while, but the erosion continued. Monkey River and neighboring communities came together to build a small seawall to protect some of the more vulnerable homes. The sea took my childhood home. Some families had to break down their houses and rebuild further back in the village. In my lifetime, we have lost at least 200 feet. Seeing the work done by the Ministry of Rural Transformation to protect the shoreline gives us hope. For my family and the whole community, it means protecting our home. Monkey River is special. We want our children and their children to grow here just like we did. We just want to preserve our community.
The Ministry of Rural Transformation continues to work with communities like Monkey River to protect livelihoods, strengthen resilience, and preserve Belize's coastal villages for generations to come.
Football event in the world is finally here, and Smart is giving you the chance to play and win. Before every match starts, predict who will win. The more predictions you make, the more chances you have to win. Get 1 point towards your total when you guess the winning team. Predict the exact score and earn up to 4 points. The top scorer at the conclusion of the World Cup wins the grand prize of $2,500 in cash. That's not all. Players get a chance to win weekly prizes. Plus, our quarter-final winner gets a watch party package. Play directly in the Smart app for just 50 cents per entry. Prediction starts June 1st to July 18, 2026. Don't just watch the World Cup. Play along and win with Smart. Smart, bringing people together.
Here's how to access your contribution history on the My Social Security portal. First, go to your browser and type ssbportal.org.bz. Enter your email and password, then click Log In. Once logged in, you'll see your full portal account on the screen. On the left-hand side, you'll notice a drop-down menu for added features. Click on History. Choose Contributions. Read the disclaimer, then click Continue. You'll now see a full window displaying your contribution history. In the table, each row represents a different year. For example, let's look at the year 2024. Click on the row and a detailed breakdown will appear. This breakdown includes your employer's name, your earnings for each month and week, contribution type, the amounts paid, and that's how you can explore the new contribution feature on the My Social Security portal. It's quick, easy, and keeps your Social Security information right at your fingertips. Create your account today.
We at FULTEC Systems understand that technology isn't just a tool, it's a game changer. At home, smart devices and AI are revolutionizing daily life. In education, tech is making learning more interactive and accessible for students and educators alike. For businesses and government, it's driving innovation, streamlining operations, and unlocking growth, leveraging tech for better services, infrastructure, and security. At FULTEC Systems, we help you thrive with cutting-edge solutions, partnering with leaders like Dell, HP, Microsoft, APC, Fortinet, Cisco, and Tomy 8. We deliver the right products for your needs, whether it's boosting efficiency, improving customer engagement, or scaling operations. Connect with us and let's drive innovation together. FULTEC Systems, your technology center, where you come for the price, but stay for the service.
Back to Open Your Eyes. And joining us for our third conversation, we have some friends from the Ministry of Health and wellness to talk about inspiring a healthier, more active nation. Joining us on the couch, we have Kathleen Azueta-Cho, and she is the technical advisor for HECOPAB over at the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Good morning.
Good morning.
And we have joining us as well Dr. Heather Armstrong, and she is the NCD focal point of the Caribbean Public Health Agency. Ladies, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right, we're talking about a more healthier, active nation. What does that mean?
So, good morning, and thank you for having us. This morning we want to talk about the Belize Moves, and this is a national movement that builds upon all the community successes that we have, and it's trying to make healthier lifestyles easier through collaboration with our partners, and we are doing this through schools, workplaces, organizations, municipalities. And it's really to make or encourage Belizeans to get moving. So physical activity is at the heart of this national movement.
How are we encouraging Belizeans to get moving?
So this is really very simple. It's not a one-day event. It's really a campaign that is trying to push these messages and make Belizeans more enthusiastic about being active, and it's really to build on all the initiatives that we already have established at the Ministry of Health and Wellness with other partners. We have currently the Workplace Wellness Initiative. We have been working with the Healthy Habits, Healthy Schools Initiative, and we have already rolled out a Love Your Heart program in Belmopan and in Orange Walk. So these are all initiatives that we have already, and we've seen the success and the demand for Belizeans to do this. And another point I want to highlight is that NCDs, the burden of NCDs is high. And the good news is that these diseases like diabetes, hypertension, can be preventable through healthier lifestyle practices, and physical movement is one of the most affordable medicines to prevent.
So how does go ahead.
When you look at all of these initiatives that have been put in place in terms of transforming one's diet, in terms of being able to track your physical health and well-being, you also look at the need for exercise and the need for being active. What are the statistics showing us in terms of perhaps people who are overweight because they're not as active as they should be versus those who are eating well, living well, and live a healthy life?
Well, the World Health Organization encourages adults to at least have 2.5 hours to 3 hours a week. That's the recommended physical activity.
Yeah.
But our statistics are showing 1 in 3 persons living with diabetes, 1 in 6 persons, living with diabetes, 1 in 3 with high blood pressure. So those are alarming numbers for us. And these risk factors like physical inactivity are modifiable. We could make changes in everyday activities to bring down the numbers of those people who are living with diabetes and high blood pressure. We have in Belize 2 in every 3 deaths that are related somehow to a non-communicable disease.
Yes.
Right, so those are numbers for us to say, we have to start prioritizing our wellness, our physical health, mental health. And among those 3 top leading causes, we have heart disease, cancer, and diabetes. And physical activity is one way that we can help address this, in addition to eating healthy, minimizing tobacco use, alcohol consumption, eating healthy. And these can all start, you know, through different audiences, the older adults in workplaces or students in schools, and the general population on a whole.
Before our segment got started, we were talking about how while this is all great, you know, and these initiatives are amazing, I think our biggest issue is like consistency, motivation to ensure that persons are active. I want to get Dr. Armstrong in on the conversation because, you know, the Caribbean Public Health Agency is a collaborator on this movement action. Yes. So let's talk about your role, Dr. Armstrong.
So Belize Moves is part of a regional initiative called the Caribbean Moves. Okay. It would have been developed or agreed on by the heads of states in 2018 that we needed something to address NCDs in the region. Over 70% of deaths across the region are due to NCDs. Yeah. And in 2023, we, with the help of consultants, would have developed a framework to help countries to scale up. And as said before, countries are doing things to address NCDs, but the framework helps to make it more sustainable. And when we think of the individual, as you mentioned, there's capacity to do the things you ask them to do. There's opportunity and motivation. And certainly we have to go beyond telling people you need to do more physical activity, you need to eat more healthy, but put systems in place that actually help them to make those changes, whether it's where they live, where they learn, or where they labor, the 3 L's as I would call it. And certainly when the approach then is, how do we take the messages to the point where people actually start to do these things consistently? And that's part of why we're here. We're working with Belize as a partner to approach in a way that we can help people to, the healthcare providers, prepare initiatives that people then take control of their health, basically.
Yeah. I think that it like I said, great initiative, right? You talked about labor being one of the 3 L's. Someone like us in the media, where we have to get up at a certain amount of time to be here for this morning show. We go through our day where perhaps, you know, there's a news item that has to come out at this time and that time. You don't eat breakfast, you don't eat lunch, and then you're kind of just moving around all of these parts, and then by the end of the day you have like a hefty meal because you need to like eat, right? Which is not a healthy lifestyle. Yes. But how do we move within these parameters with a particular job? And I'm just giving our job as an example, right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I can speak for the workplace wellness initiative that we currently have in about 8 of our health facilities. And it's a gradual movement, but we are encouraging the employers to be part of this movement. So currently we have like Water Wednesdays taking place, and we create the infused water with local fruits, you know, encouraging small breaks. We put aside maybe half of the day for staff to get engaged in sporting activities, make it a bit more competitive. Last week we had the Northern Region Hospital. They conducted a 5K run. Yes. But it's getting staff to be a part of these activities within the workplace, because we spend a lot of time in front of the computer, sitting down.
Most jobs are sedentary.
Yeah. Right? So we're encouraging employers. Yeah. And when we have healthy staff, we're minimizing absences, sick leave. We are creating a more sustainable, happier workforce. Yeah. So it starts with those conversations. And of course, we're planning to have these best practices used for other workplaces, other organizations to show that these are practical steps that we can take as employers.
So while I understand this is the ministry's initiative, and a lot of these areas are within the government sector, how do you get the buy-in from the private community?
Well, we have been having the discussions through forums. We're inviting them to be part of some of these same activities. We go out to do health screenings. The health educators, nutritionists go out to do some of these screenings and sensitization sessions with some of the private sector workplaces, call centers, to get them involved. And they like the partnership because they're bringing the health screenings to these places, minimizing them waiting at the health facility long hours. So that's one way we're trying to build that partnership, by collaborating with them and, partnering with them and saying, we need your support, some of the incentives, some of the hats, some of the water bottles. That's one way to get that collaboration going.
I get that. Yeah. So what's happening on July 23rd?
So on July 23rd, we have, of course, our CARFA colleagues visiting. We have the launch, which is an official event taking place in Belmopan. Move Your Body, Move Belize. We have, this is a soca theme event with Zumba dance.
Right for the season.
Right for the season.
We have our senior steppers. And it's really a health promotion event to kick off this national movement. And the reason we're doing it in Belmopan is because that's one of the municipalities where we will be starting the Belize Moves initiative, also Orange Walk. But the municipalities are a very strong stakeholder, right? Belmopan has supported us in having some of these physical activities. And so this soca theme event is really a way to promote, come get your numbers checked, come dance, come move, and learn more about, nutritional recipes. We'll have different civil society partners out there. And so it's an opportunity for us to start discussing and making healthy lifestyle a priority.
Wonderful. Well, ladies, this has been incredible. I understand that this is just a start, right? And I imagine that you'll be back more to talk to us about how other ways and other campaigns are part of Move Belize. But congratulations and best of luck. I think on the boat, the 23rd, I could go do one of these soca at Belmopan, I don't mind. But thank you so much. You know what? You should come and be a part of it. But thank you, ladies, so much.
Thank you too for having us.
All right, we are going to take another quick break, and we're switching gears to FULTEC as they talk about smarter solutions with Trimble.
Nights out. Said maybe next time too often. Ramen became a lifestyle. All for this moment, his first car. Protect what you've worked for with RF&G Motor Insurance.
So it started off like any other summer day in Belize. I decided to go down to Builders Hardware since I heard they had 25% off on summer outdoor products. I got a couple of items, a chair, a grill, a cooler, and I got carried away, but the prices were so good. But anyways, I might have gotten comfortable, maybe too comfortable. Then I saw the news, man, the hurricane season was not playing with me. But thank God Builders also had 25% off hurricane preparedness items as well. Flashlights, batteries, sealant, first aid kits, everything I need. And guess what? My grill survived.
When your baby feels comfortable, you feel confident. Because every little moment deserves protection you can trust. Cushkin's diapers are designed with ultra-absorbent layers that lock in leaks while staying soft, dry, and gentle on delicate skin. So your baby can play freely, and you can enjoy every smile without worry. Cushkin's diapers, comfort they feel, protection you trust. Cushkin's diapers and wipes are available countrywide at a supermarket near you.
People don't travel with cash anymore. People would stop and they want to do a coffee tour, they want to buy coffee, but people don't have cash with them. Online banking facilitated a lot of what we do. I don't have to run to town and I have to use fuel and other expenses. Atlantic Bank actually approached us they facilitated us with a bank account, which is something that we didn't have in hand, and then with a POS machine. I sit and sip my good cup of coffee and do payments.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Protect your motor, secure your property. Oh yeah, Home Protector Insurance got you covered, you see. Covered, you see. From motor to property and even marine. We'll keep you safe no matter where you've been. No matter where you've been, no matter where you've been. Get the peace of mind that only we can bring. Oh yeah. With our insurance, you will never fret or sing. Never fret or sing. We offer bonds and so much more. So much more. Home Protector Insurance, we got what you're looking for. What you're looking for.
The next station is not just a place. It's the vacation capital of the world, Mexican Caribbean. Do you know why we are the capital of vacations? Because no other place on earth brings together so many ways to vacation in one single destination. Every vacation imaginable. Mexican Caribbean, the vacation capital.
Let's all be safe during the rainy season. Belize Electricity Limited reminds you that heavy rains can cause flooding in your neighborhood and on roads. Avoid driving or walking in flooded areas, which can have hidden dangers such as debris and fallen power lines. Belize Electricity Limited cares about your safety. Please stay safe.
Every dollar you save today is a seed for tomorrow. Let your dreams take root and grow. Belize Bank, your future, our commitment.
The next station is not just a place, it's the vacation capital of the world. Mexican Caribbean, the vacation capital.
And welcome back. Joining us for our next conversation are our friends from FULTEC. We have in studio this morning Senior Marketing Officer Hector Molina. Good morning, Hector.
Good morning, good morning.
And he's joined by Sardar Ali from the HLCM Group. Sardar is the Sales and Tech Support Officer. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
I saw you brought some toys as well.
And do you have an introduction for this thing here?
It's
a scanner by Trimble.
Scanner.
That's as far as I know. Let's go, Hector.
So this is the Trimble X9. It's a 3D scanner. And before we jump into that, let me just say who Trimble is and how FULTEC jumps into the picture, and then as well my partner from Trini, Sardar Ali, who's from HLCM, right? So Trimble is a brand that provides both hardware and software solutions that are used to gather data. They're used for engineering, architecture, surveying. They have a lot of different solutions in terms of what Trimble can offer, right? And you're able to collect data, analyze that data and what's not. And again, we brought two of the devices from Trimble today. both the tablet and as well the X9.
Yeah.
Now, how FULTEC fits into this is, we're an IT solution provider, and we're trying to connect solutions to those who utilize it so that they can work smarter.
Yeah.
And you would be surprised. I mean, we use these solutions are what created some of the stuff that we use every day, from the office building to the bridges that we utilize, the roads that you drive on.
Yeah.
These solutions are what help in order for these people to actually get it done the right way.
Yeah.
So,
describe the X9
yes,
for us.
please.
What is the X9?
So the X9 is a 3D scanner. Again, it's used for different purposes. Again, you could use it for scanning buildings, and then you create a 3D model where you're able to either do designing of the interior, or you can use it to scan the drums where you store the gas and oil, and as well you can use it for forensics. Right, so there's a lot that this product can be used for in different real life scenarios. And Sadar Ali maybe has some better ideas, because he has been implementing this solution all over the Caribbean.
All right, Sadar.
Yeah, so good morning, everyone. So HLCM Group is based out of Puerto Rico. We cover the entire Caribbean region with regards to Trimble and other solutions. So every country we go to, we try to supply local support. And with that, we actually partner with FULTEC to actually support you guys here in Belize. Right? With our support, they do the sales for the equipment itself. We provide training, we provide repairs and support. Once you buy from us, support is free.
Okay.
Right? So that is something we always recommend, that you go locally and buy them. With regards to Trimble, Trimble is one of the solutions. It's basically our bread and butter every day. As he said, the X9 is just one of the solutions, right, which have multiple uses. We also have GNSS, which everyone refers to as GPS.
Okay.
Right? So we have those, so like engineers, construction companies, everyone uses some type of they need something to collect data. Even your cell phone, you use GPS on your cell phone to get around.
Yeah.
All of that is considered as geospatial data. Right? So, I mean, we're here to actually make it aware that FULTEC is around, and they represent us here in Belize. And I mean, yes, we know a lot of the contracting companies know about them, but they don't know where to get it, because a lot of them go to Mexico or Guatemala and buy it there and then bring it in.
Yes.
Whereas the warranty, as you cross borders, the warranty is void.
Yeah.
Right? So we actually gives you that.
So here's my question, right?
Sure.
Collecting geospatial information is very useful for many reasons. You've mentioned GPS, you've mentioned for architecture and what have you. But for this particular piece of equipment, in the context of the construction industry where you have huge buildings going up and what have you, is there a market for this, considering the fact that perhaps a lot of contractors are still perhaps depending on traditional ways of being able to draw and build?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
You want it?
I could take it. So what it is, yes. Because before, everything used to be done manually, and there are always human errors and room for errors. Right? The error on these equipment is less than 1 millimeter. Right? So it have something on these, especially when you're building multi-story buildings, especially hotels. These scanners allow you to do something called floor flatness. So that way, when they pour the concrete, they'll tell you if the floor is flat or not.
Yeah.
That is very important when it comes to drainage. Then it's something of clash creation, whereby you take the design, you scan with this now, and then you take the design and overlay it with the as-built, and then you'll see if there's any changes or anything that needs to be repaired before you actually build or construct further. Right? So there's a lot on that side. Architect, I mean, I could just say like in Suriname, right? The heritage buildings, it had a fire, and about 3 of the heritage buildings were destroyed.
Yeah.
If they had a scan of those buildings, they could actually rebuild those heritage sites.
To specs, right?
Right? To specs. So that is why we recommend that even in that aspect, you can actually scan these buildings. It's all good. Stuff like storage tanks, we could do tank calibration. So the tank calibration allows you to know how the tank, if there's any deformities in the tanks itself.
Yeah.
That is a big thing, because you don't want the tanks to leak.
Yeah.
Right? So there's a lot of different
Especially if
uses.
we're dealing with fuel and oils and
Correct.
stuff like that, right?
Right? So in the oil and gas sector, this is big in Trinidad, it's big in Guyana, it's big in Jamaica. They use it for all these all these stuff, right?
So I imagine that the X9 has just been a more high-tech model, because we've seen these survey equipment across the country, especially right now with construction. We're seeing them. You talk about certain examples that sets the X9 apart from these other survey equipment, but here in Belize, as we are progressing, right, we're talking more about construction. You mentioned forensics.
Yeah.
You talked about a little bit of agriculture and heritage management. But who needs this in the grand scheme of things? Because I think I need an X9.
I could put a whole list of different customers. Again, you're talking about engineers, you're talking about surveyors, you're talking about, again, the workforce.
Yeah.
You know, again, forensics, for example, there's a crime scene and it happens at night. You know, you could scan that entire crime scene and you could pick up maybe the bullets and different, you know, materials that would help you better analyze
Evidence material.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then save that data that you could go back within a week and still continue analyzing that data. So for example, I just scanned the room.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
that's
here,
the beeping.
So I had scanned the room and I created a 3D model. Now, when it's scanned here, it gives you a black and white type of imagery, but that is later put into the software, which then gives it the different colors.
I'm gonna try to see how the audience can see what I'm seeing, and I think it's gonna be a little difficult, but yeah.
Yeah, so that actually scanned the room, everyone that's in here as well.
I see
And
that.
once
There's
that's pulled
me,
into the
there's
software, you're
Asani.
able to actually add the colors and as well use it for different, like maybe heat. I mean, Sadar is a little bit more knowledgeable.
So I mean, what the software does, it takes out all the noise data, so everything that is in here, and it gives you like the surroundings, and that's what architects use to actually draft and draw everything.
Nice.
How many points did you have to get this? Like when you scan the room, how much accuracy does? Because right now I'm seeing just one part of it. Yeah.
Right. So I mean, in here there's the different ones.
Oh, okay.
So these are the points, and if you rotate this,
let me just.
It gives you a 360.
It gives you all that 360 degree. There you go.
The entire room.
Yeah,
okay, see. Nice.
So
That's
again,
really cool.
you could imagine a crime scene. You scan, I believe it's about 300 meters. Correct? 300
Now you
meters.
could do between 50 meters to 150 meters.
It's almost like photogrammetry, where you get
so
that 3D.
Sorry, I mean, it converted into feet.
Yeah.
So about 300 feet in terms of, you know,
so
coverage.
it's basically, this is a terrestrial scanner. So if you're using drones for photogrammetry, is aerial scans, right? So it's the same point clouds they get from the drones that they get for this.
Nice. All right, so and FULTEC has these available.
So we offer the complete solution. This is just one part, and with HLCM as a partner for us at FULTEC, we're able to help customers with a complete solution from drones to all the different GNS equipment needed in order to do architecture, engineering, surveying, and as well agriculture.
Yeah. Do you have to have a license to operate this?
No, but if you need to have proper training to operate the unit. Actually, it's not that complex, but when it comes to the training aspect, that's where we have Sadar, who's a Trimble trainer. He helps you get certified to use these types of equipment, right? And it's not something that you just get certified and it's just locally. No, this is international. Correct.
What's the warranty?
So the warranty on these is 1 year, but you could purchase additional warranty as you go forward.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for giving us a little bit of an insight on Trimble. I have to admit, like when it was rotating, I was like, I'm not really sure about this, but definitely something that is needed here. We're progressing industrially as a nation, and so definitely would want Trimble to be a part of that progress. So thank you guys so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having us.
All right, we are going to switch gears and we're going to take a commercial break, and we're going to have our last conversation with Naturally Belize Cosmetics.
Every business starts with a vision. And everyday Belizean entrepreneurs are turning that vision into reality.
Hi, I'm Rosalie, General Manager of Cards and Merchant Services at the Belize Bank. Today, I am proud to introduce our new solution designed specifically for Belize's small and medium-sized businesses.
Introducing the Belize Bank Advantage MasterCard SME Business Credit Card. Whether you're managing everyday expenses, purchasing inventory, or investing in growth, this card gives your business the flexibility to move forward with confidence. Applying is easy. Visit any Belize Bank branch and speak with one of our SME officers. We'll help you find a solution that best fits your business. Your business is building Belize's future. Let Belize Bank help power what's next.
Open your eyes, family. We the head west. Yes, San Ignacio, we the come. The Open Your Eyes Country Tour is rolling into the San Ignacio Welcome Center. And trust me, you don't want to miss this one. From the rich culture and delicious food to the incredible people and lively vibes, we bring the best of the West straight to your screen. Monday, July 27, starting at 6:30 a.m. live on Greater Belize Media. Open your eyes to beautiful San Ignacio.
He skipped nights out. Said maybe next time too often. Ramen became a lifestyle. All for this moment, his first car. Protect what you've worked for with RF&G Motor Insurance.
Life moves fast. Your connection should keep up. Need more credit? More data? A flex bundle that fits your lifestyle? With Smart Prepaid, they're a prepaid option for every lifestyle and budget, making it easy to stay connected wherever you are. Because with Smart Prepaid, you can connect on your terms. Purchase credit, data, flex bundles, prepaid plans, and all your favorite prepaid services at any Smart agent, Smart showroom, or simply dial *100# key. No stress, no waiting. Just fast, easy, convenient ways to stay connected every day. Smart Prepaid. Connect on your terms.
Ever had your card declined? Now it doesn't have to be. Introducing partial authorization. If the card doesn't cover the full amount, it notifies you what's available. You can accept the partial payment and pay the missing balance with a credit card or cash. No decline. Get what you came for. Partial authorization now available. Belize Bank, our country, your bank.
When the power goes out, life is disrupted. Be prepared and keep your home powered up with a generator from Benquip. We carry brands such as Honda, Kohler, and JCB. Schedule your installation, maintenance, and assessment to keep your generator ready and waiting to protect your family and home the next time the power fails. Stay in control of your power with a generator from Benquip. Equipment, parts, service.
My name is Ernest Miralda, and I'm 43 years old. I have lived in Monkey River Village most of my life. This is the place I grew up and where my family lives. When I was young, we had a big beach in front of the village. We had to walk quite a distance to reach the sea. There were 2 more rows of houses and then the beach. It was a free childhood in a beautiful community. I was about 12 or 13 when I realized the sea was taking the land. The sea just keeps eating the land. We had a big football field in front of the cemetery, and all of that is now gone. When we saw it getting closer to the school, that's when we realized how serious it was. In 2017, the cemetery where my grandmother was buried began to be taken by the sea. Her tomb slowly slipped into the water. The village was very concerned. People came together and started filling sandbags. It helped for a little while, but the erosion continued. Monkey River and neighboring communities came together to build a small seawall to protect some of the more vulnerable homes. The sea took my childhood home. Some families had to break down their houses and rebuild further back in the village. In my lifetime, we have lost at least 200 feet. Seeing the work done by the Ministry of Rural Transformation to protect the shoreline gives us hope. For my family and the whole community, it means protecting our home.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for sticking with us. Joining us for our last conversation is Naturally Belize Cosmetics. And we have the owner, Miss Lorcia Moore, in to talk us about Naturally Belize, but also other new ingredients, new products, and so forth. Good morning, Miss Moore.
Morning.
Good morning. Let's talk about Naturally Belize. Who are you?
So Naturally Belize Cosmetic is a Belizean-owned skincare brand where we focus on sustainability and also using natural ingredients.
What kind of natural ingredients are we talking
about? Most of our ingredients are sourced in Belize. We love using ingredients like turmeric, we use seaweed, we use cocoa butter. We use other herbal ingredients like basil, lemongrass, and stuff like that. But we are located in Punta Gorda, and I feel like that's one of the best places to source natural ingredients.
Agreed. Why go into this sort of stream of business? Because cosmetics and skincare is a little bit hard to break into Belize. What made you get started?
So I've been in the business for 11 years now, and there's a whole inspiration behind it because when I actually started, I was doing coconut oil-based products, and that inspiration came from my grandmother. But eventually, I kind of evolved, and I actually renamed my business from Naturally Belize Coconut Products to Naturally Belize Cosmetics because we got such good feedback, and you know, I feel like people really want this type of product. So it's really been a journey for us. So I feel like that's what made us kind of diversified from going from coconut oil and going from my kitchen to actually having a full-fledged, small business in Belize.
I could remember, it may not have been, certainly wasn't my store, but I remember doing a Belize on Reel where we focused on your coconut oil making and what have you.
Yeah.
Talk to us about the importance of sustainability in the work that you're doing.
Yeah, for me, I feel like that's something that's very important, and from the get-go, I had tried to incorporate, I want something that's good for your skin, but it's also good for the environment. So from the get-go, we try to reduce as much plastic waste as possible. Today's date now, there's more options. Before it was hard to find packaging, but now there's more option in doing that. So I guess the way the world is going now, it's really important to kind of consider the green economy.
Yeah, I always wondered because I first of all, I purchase your products. I do have your turmeric soaps and your turmeric mask and so on. But how do you know what ingredients work together and what are their purposes?
So each ingredients have their own benefits. We have like turmeric that's really good for like acne, hyperpigmentation, dark spots, and that's what we focus on. We focus on different skin concerns as well. Like each ingredient, we have example like charcoal that's good for oily skin. It helps to reduce blackhead, whiteheads. So each ingredient has its own property, and then we recently started to work with cocoa butter, and that has so many benefits. And the beauty about it, it's made right in Punta Gorda. So,
proud product of Penny.
Yeah.
Listen, the only issue I have about you being so far away is that you are so far away. But then you definitely sell outside of Kaine, right? How do you distribute?
So we actually expanded and we have our products available in supermarket. We have our products available in hotels. We have a hotel line. We also have our products in gift shops over the country.
That's how I buy this.
From a business perspective, Lorcia, what has this journey been like for you? Growing from strength to strength with the products that you're offering?
To me, it's been very inspiring. I mean, hearing from customers, we get like feedback and reviews every day, and people telling me, "Oh my goodness, your turmeric soap works for me," you know. So it's been very aspiring, and I feel like that's what like pushes me to go on, because you know we have this quality product, and you know the Belizean people, they constantly remind us that, you know, oh, you're the turmeric soap lady, and your soap work for me. And it's not just people in Belize, it's Belizean all over the world.
But I understand that you're moving into that sustainability. I remember when I first bought one of your bars, it was plastic, and now you're slowly moving into different ways of packaging.
Yeah.
And I would imagine the production is the same. How, I know the benefits, but what is the challenge in terms of trying to remain as sustainable as possible as a small business?
When it comes to sustainable package, eco-friendly package, we use biodegradable and compostable packaging. And the challenge is it's expensive. It's expensive than if you're gonna buy a plastic or maybe aluminum package. So that's one of the challenges that we have, because at the end of the day, we have to keep the cost down as well. When we're selling the product. So we're actually working with Sea of Life, and they're going to be guiding us through, you know, how we can probably source packaging at maybe lower costs, and you know, how we go about fully transitioning from being like about 80% you know, sustainable, doing the eco-friendly, to 100% to reduce the single-use plastic in Belize.
You're one of three local companies, small and up and coming, that are part of this initiative with the Sea of Life. So kudos to that. I think it's worthwhile when you consider the environment and consider the idea of sustainability, right? What else can we expect from you? I mean, you seem to be exploring different things and what have you. What's next for your product?
So we're actually working with someone. I am a part of the YLI program. It's a initiative from the U.S. Embassy, and I recently went to it's an alumni event, and I am partnering with a guy, and he's from Jamaica. So we're thinking about exporting. Well, we're in the process of exporting to Jamaica.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Man,
Congratulations. Congratulations. So I know you talked a little bit about where we can find some of your products and so forth. I know you want to keep it affordable, but what is your rate? I know you have certain packages and so on. Let's talk about how we can buy these products, or what the cost is.
So we have in at least maybe 2 to 3 supermarkets countrywide. Mainly our beauty bar line, that's our soap line, and we have like the turmeric soap, charcoal soap, seaweed soap, or we have like an assorted pack, and those one you can find in supermarkets. Some of our skincare product, because we still make in small batches, you would have to get in touch with us via Facebook or Instagram, Naturally Belize Cosmetics. And we have website. You can also purchase through website or products, and then we ship to you. And the cost, I mean, we try to keep our costs down. For example, a 3-pack is just $20 Belize.
Yeah.
We have a big bar of soap for $13. Our skincare products ranges from $20 to $30. The cream, the mask, the scrubs, the serum.
I love the ingredients that you put into it. I know you talked about them all being organic and so on, but are you experimenting in anything new?
At the moment, our turmeric soap line has us busy. We have the turmeric face mask, scrub, and serum, and those go like hot tamales off the shelf, right?
So you have to replenish.
Yeah, that's the product line that keeps us the busiest, and it's like sometimes we don't even have, you know, enough to really focus on a new product. So I feel like there's a huge demand for it, and I guess that's our signature line. So we're going to stick to that and improve it, continue improving it as best as possible.
Wonderful. Well, Ms. Moore, congratulations on all of your success. It's very, very incredible to see small businesses grow the way that Naturally Belize Cosmetics has 11 years, and we have a large expectation from you, a high expectation from you, to see the continuation of your success. So congratulations.
And thank you also for your support, and every Belizean woman who support us. Our business is like, our niche market is Belizean women, and we've had so much like great support. So I just want to say thanks to everyone who supports my business.
Man or woman, that beauty bar soap really works. If you suffer with any sort of skin scarring and so forth, get your Naturally Belize turmeric soap. Congratulations, Ms. Moore.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we are wrapping up our Monday morning show, and we also want to say a big thank you to all of our other guests that sat on the couch this morning and had the conversation with us. We'd also want to say a big thank you to you, our viewers, because without you, this would not be possible. It is July 20th, and if it is your birthday today, happy birthday to you. And if you have a birthday shout out or just a question or a comment, you can send us a line right here at oye@greaterbelize.com. You can also catch us live on Open Your Eyes BZ on Facebook, our highlights on Instagram at OYE Belize. You can also catch our TikTok at openyoureyes.bz. We also have a WhatsApp number. You can call us or text us at 675-2555. But please do us a favor and join us again tomorrow when you open your eyes.
To start your morning right.
Till then, keep your eyes, your minds,
and your hearts open.
We'll see you tomorrow, Belize. Have a wonderful morning. Bye.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank, our country, your bank, and SMART, bringing people together.